Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob. How are you today?
Good. Slight delay. Apologize. I was trying to do the other things I have to do to make it all work, and it just didn't get done in time. So
you need even long. So I should wait a little longer to start the music.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's get at it. Let's rock and roll. We've had a great week. Let's keep rocking.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast, where we have a conversation around a topic. And this week's topic is the value of an hour. And as we do every Friday, we talk about our discoveries of the week. So I imagine this will be an interesting dialogue between Bob and I. If you have things you would like to share about what you discovered during the week and you are watching the broadcast, please feel free to put it in the comments. You can also go to the Ring of Renegades Facebook group and share it there as well. And if you are listening to the podcast, please feel free to share this with your friends. And as Bob suggested, you could have a conversation with yourself in the car or maybe not at work. People might wonder why you're talking to yourself if you have headphones on. And maybe they don't care. So, either way, we hope that it sparks some thoughts within you and that you will share those thoughts with others, because we know that's how people benefit, is when we share the value we have that impacts what's real for them. So as we do every day of our show, we start out with celebrations. What are you celebrating about?
I like the drum roll. That's good. We might have to make that a part of it. Very nice.
It could be a new addition for us to mess up throughout every other broadcast. So
yeah. I am celebrating the fact that there are some people that really care, even when it means they lose money. And I've had a situation over the last month or two where some people have done some really hard work and they didn't have any plan that they would get paid for it, and they still did it. And I talked to one of them last night, and this person really inspired me in the sense that she said that it's just who and what she is. That you don't leave someone alone. You just do what needs to be done and the rewards follow. And that was really, it was nice to hear, because as a friend of mine says often, if you chase money, it will run away.
I think that's fairly true. And as I think you know, I'm a big proponent of Bob Berg and John David Mann's book, The Go-Giver, which talks a little bit about that. That's part of the concept that they share.
But it's nice when it's reinforced in real life.
Well, I think there's always the opportunity. We have the opportunity to choose to do that, right? That's our ability, is to make those decisions. And as you know, I do a lot of work in the nonprofit space, and sometimes they just don't have the resources. And one of the coaches of mine said to me once, that's your choice. As long as you determine what the boundary is by which you will not be afraid to ask to be paid for your services, that you choose that you are willing to do something pro bono or just as a nice gesture for someone, then that's okay, because you are actively making that choice. It's not that you're running away from something else. So,
and you're giving back. You're giving back of your skills, which is nice. What about you? What are you celebrating today?
What I'm celebrating is that I've been doing some end of the year accounting for my other business, my lacrosse business. And I'm celebrating the place that has come to, and that I'm much further along at being organized with that than probably I have been in the last 3 or 4 years. So that was
way, way, way ahead. I can't believe you even said that in December.
I know. Scary to think about. And the nice thing, it's nice when you do that work and it's not like, oh, heavens, they're a mess. I didn't make what I thought I had made. When is the season going to start again? So that they actually were in a place where I was celebrating that
And
last
you, and you can look at some tax benefits of doing certain things before the end of the year.
correct, which will have an impact at the start of the year of
Correct. Yep.
what I choose to do and how I choose to do it. So that is all to me. I think one of those little signs that you see that your business is progressing. And I think that's one of the challenges for new people, without getting too deep into it, is, you start a business and you're just trying to make enough money to survive, keep your business running. And then you're like, oh yeah, I got to pay quarterly taxes. And then that doesn't necessarily happen. And before you know it, it's April and you're trying to scrap it all together. So to feel like that part of the process is moving along, and to get to know that in my other business, my bookkeeper sent me the information for that feels like, I think it was a good feeling. So that's
you're way ahead for tax time next year. Usually you're a last minute guy. You're not going to know what to do April 14th.
I'm hoping that I'll have plenty to do. So that's part of the value of the hour, that my hour will be spent differently in April than it was the past however many years.
Yes. So the nation today, Tom, celebrates National Salesperson Day. So right smack dab in the middle of this holiday season is Salesperson Day, an opportunity to celebrate the salespeople in our lives. The National Day calendar, where I get these events, says that one of the ways you can celebrate a salesperson today is if a salesperson does a great job, just thank them. Just, hey, you really helped me with this, whether it's buying a car, buying a suit, buying whatever, choosing what hair color. That all sales function. And as you and I both believe, everyone is a salesperson at some level. We are always in the role of being a salesperson at some point in our day, at some point in our life, because we're all trying to get our ideas. We're all trying to get our products, services. Whether you work in a team, you go to a meeting, you have an idea, you're selling your idea at that meeting. Hey, I have this idea. Whether you're a team leader and you have a vision, you're selling the vision. If you're an entrepreneur, you are selling a vision of how you think you can help people with a problem. So we are all, at our core, salespeople. I don't know.
I'm not, that's like, I appreciate that. I do. And this may be semantics. Look at that for a word, start of the morning on a Friday. And I would prefer that I'm a share person. Sharing value with others who can determine whether or not that value makes sense for them. Because I think when you say salesperson, you're making sales, correct?
Well, but what if I'm selling my idea? You're selling an idea right now.
Yeah, right, correct. My thinking is that if nobody buys it, am I really a salesperson? If I share it, people can take advantage of it, can purchase it, can be impacted by it. And I don't know, the thought to me of selling is like I am pressuring you to buy something rather than.
It doesn't have to be that way, right?
That's why I prefer share.
Well,
I'm sharing this information.
It's not National Shares Person Day. I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't create the day.
That's why I said it was a little bit of semantics. It's just I think all people who are quote unquote selling are really sharing, right? Someone comes into your car dealership. If you are a good share person, you understand what they're really looking for, and then you help them share information about all the various cars that might be the solution for what they're looking for. I think if you're a salesperson, you're like, let me sell you the car that's going to get me the highest commission. That is the one that's been sitting on a lot and we're trying to get rid of. To me, that's a salesperson.
But that's the worst case of looking at sales. And we see this. New people in business, new entrepreneurs that have new product or service. I used to deal with it with students. They'd spend 3 years in the basement building a great solution to a problem. Then it's like, okay, how are people going to find out about it? Once I put a website up, or I'll do Google Ads. And it's like, you've got to sell it.
Or share it.
But to me, there's a function in sales that is asking for the sale, that in sharing it doesn't exist. And if you don't ever ask for the sale, you're probably not going to get it. They're going to say, oh, it's really nice. Oh, that's interesting. But if you say, hey, you seem to like this. Would you like to buy this car? It's $8,000. The person can say yes or no. I think a lot of times the people I've worked with and myself, the hardest part was getting to the point where I could ask for the sale.
Or you're sharing the opportunity to purchase.
I think at some point there becomes a sales component.
Okay. We can agree.
It's not a big disagreement. It's not like Tom and I are never going to do another program together. I mean,
I don't know. You might get really frustrated with that.
No,
I like to me,
mm-hmm.
And I think for people who don't want to be seen as a salesperson, because I think that there is.
Why is that negative, Tom?
I think that there is an unfortunate stereotype about salespeople. That's all I'm saying.
If I give you a solution to a problem you have and it makes your life easier, how is that a negative thing? Yes, I could take advantage of you. There's a manipulative salesperson, but that's not the majority of them. I've dealt with salespeople who come out. I had a guy come out and talk to us about doing a roofing project. And 10 minutes into it, he said, I'm happy to answer your questions, but can I just tell you, this is not what you're looking for. It was recycled tires, and it was something we looked at. It was like 3 times the cost. And he said, I appreciate that you want to use recycled material, but it's 3 times the cost. And as I look in your neighborhood, you'll never recoup that. It would be a bad decision for you to take to do this. Hey, I'll sell it to you.
Sure.
But you're really giving a lot of money. And I've had other people do that in sales. And I've done that with people. Hey, can I explain to you? Here's where my solution might not fit you. So you're not required to be the used car person who's trying to sell the crappiest car for the most amount of money. Yes, there is an element of that out there, but that's not the majority of salespeople.
I would not characterize them that way. I believe there's a stereotype. That there is something ugly about sales. And so I guess I'm just offering that if there are people out there who know that's a function of what they need to do to survive, to run their business, to help others, that they could just choose to look at it a different way. That is really helping solve solutions. And you are presenting opportunities to purchase something that is going to make a difference in your life, your home, whatever the case might be, your work.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a week's discussion coming down the road.
Maybe.
Salesperson versus share person.
Well, I think the share person, I think you are correct in that if all we ever do is share the information, we're not going to get to where we want to get to. We also have to share the opportunity for them to take advantage of that solution. And I think that to me, that's a different discussion than I'm going to sell this to you. That's just it.
Okay.
That's my idiosyncrasies. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, hopefully that was a valuable 13-minute digression. And Tom, do you want to take us into the actual topic for the week, even though it felt like that was our topic for the week?
We were just talking about the National Day of Celebration.
Yes.
So, all right. So our conversation, truly our topic this week, was really about the value of an hour. And we talked a little bit about what that was. We talked about how to increase it, why it matters. And then we talked yesterday about, now I forgot the word.
Squandering. How we can squander it.
Yes. So as we look at this conversation, which again, I think I even stated on Monday's show, I wasn't exactly sure where this discussion was going to go. And I believe that there was a lot of value in the shows that we had. So if you missed some of that, you might want to go back and look at each of those sort of specific things. But as we think about that, Bob, what's your discovery of the week?
I question whether I should admit this, but I think I've undervalued my hours in several ways, and this week really brought light to that. One way I undervalue my hours is sometimes I charge a price that's lower than all that I need to do. And I gave the example earlier this week that I gave someone some pricing for something and didn't factor in that if I'm doing this thing for them for 3 or 4 days, I can't be doing all the other stuff I need to do, which either means it doesn't get done or gets moved around, which means either I'm working on the weekend or I'm not getting other revenue. So there's a trade-off there. I wasn't thinking about that when I was pricing something. I was pricing in isolation that, hey, this is what that time's worth. But wait a second, it's worth that plus all the other things I do in that time. The other way I think I undervalue my hour is I don't always use my hours fully. I really took heart in your discussion where you said sometimes in the middle of the day, I'll go do something else and come back to my work. And I'm really thinking through that a little more specifically. I looked at yesterday and watched how my activity went up and down, and that there was a natural ebb and flow that I hadn't really seen as clearly. And so to value my hour is to use my time wisely. And if I can be super productive from 3 to 6 p.m., I should really manage that time so that 3 to 6 p.m. is when I'm doing the really productive work, if at all possible, whether that's writing, whether that's important emails, making calls, whatever it is. And I think you helped me realize that I knew that, but I wasn't using it daily to the level I could. Like I'm looking at today. Today, you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's Friday, and I've been trying to carve out a couple hours each week to focus on my speaking career. And I was thinking this morning, it's like, I do this in the morning, but maybe it would be better to do it in the afternoon, because in the morning I could do some other things that are better for the morning for me and for the people I have to interact with. I hadn't had that thought. I had built it like, I'm going to do this from 9 to 1 every Friday, because that was a block that made sense. But now using all those other factors, I can use those hours any number of ways. We can squander them just by going, well, I'll do whatever. One of the ways I've tried to avoid squandering the hour is not answering the phone when people call all the time. If I'm in the middle of something, it goes to voicemail, and then I call them back, because otherwise, yes, Tom, hey, what's going on? Yeah, okay. And the research shows that if you stop to do something else while you're in the middle of something and then go back to it, it takes you 20 minutes on average to get back to it mentally. Think about how many times, if you take 4 calls a day, 4 times 20, that's 80 minutes. That's almost an hour and a half of lost productivity because you're not at your efficient self.
Sure. I mean, I think it probably depends on what you're working on.
If you're doing something important. So for instance,
yes,
if I'm writing a piece of copy for a website, I'm in the zone, I'm thinking through it, I've got it in my head, and now I'm just putting it to the computer. If I stop in the middle of that sentence and go, the phone's ringing. Oh, it's Tom. Let me take the phone call from Tom. Hey, Tom, what's up? Yeah, yeah, I'm just working on the website. Yep. Okay. And you tell me, hey, can you do this thing? Or I need help with something right now.
Sure.
All that mental work that's gotten me to that ready spot slides aside. And we think that, as soon as I hang up the phone, okay, back to writing. But the research shows our mind is kind of like got to spin back up to it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I mean, I think depending on what you're doing, if you're doing something that is not as, there's always the fear they're going to ask you to do something, right? If you have to leverage that or take something from that call and then do something else, which means you can't get back to it. If it's just hey, I figured this out, boom. And I think that's a good consideration as you're looking at when are you scheduling to do things. Because I would imagine that Friday from 3 to 6, if that's the time block you chose, you're less likely to get phone calls.
Correct.
Then you are going to be Friday from 9 to 1.
That's exactly what I started to realize. I was setting myself up for failure. I wasn't looking at all the factors. I was just, 9 to 1 would be good because I'd be done at 1. And if I have no afternoon meetings, I can sort of slide into the weekend. But then I realized that doesn't work because of other factors.
Well, here's the fascinating thing I find about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a goal,
Mm-hmm.
a wish, and you said, okay, I want to take this for more than a wish. I don't just wish that I wish that I have a speaking career. You're like, I will have a speaking career. Okay, great. Or I want a speaking career. So to do that, what do I need to do? Okay, I'll do this. And you carved that out, took a clear action. And then you measured that action and determined that, hey, you know what? It wasn't, as some people might decide, that was a bad decision, it was a failure, whatever words you wanted. You were just like, here's what I learned. That wasn't really serving me the way I thought. I wasn't moving forward the way I thought it was. So you learn from that, and now you're choosing to do something different. So to me, that's a great example of the process of not beating ourselves up because we had this thing we really wanted to do. We chose to do an action that we had never done before. So how would we know what the results would be like? And we evaluated the results that we got and said, what did I learn from that? And what am I going to do differently? This is how I'm going to make it different. And I would imagine that moving forward, you will continue to find things about maybe 3 to 6 is too late. Maybe I don't want to work till 6 on a Friday. Okay. And I lose steam at 6 because it's Friday, it's 6. And there's a whole host of other things I want to do. Okay, great. How do I adjust? So that we are continually figuring out how to be as effective as we can be.
I like that, Tom. Are you in a position where you can suggest to people there might be a way that they could apply that same logic in their own lives?
I certainly am.
I thought you might be.
I'm going to hold off on that a minute, if that's okay.
Okay. I was ready to do some.
Let's do it now. My discovery of the week can wait. So if that's something that intrigues,
I didn't mean it that way, but I can see where you take it that way.
I said it. I didn't infer that from what you said.
Okay. All right.
I said it. I'm all right with that. So, one of the things Bob and I have been working on is a workshop that is from I wish to success, the Renegade Way, as a great tool to help you do exactly what Bob has just talked about. Comforting that he said, I wish that something. I wish that I could improve my speaking opportunities. Okay. What's the process? And exactly as we just walked through it, he walked through the process that we want to help you figure out so that you can go from I wish to, I would say that Bob is in a point of being a lot closer to success because now he knows what he believes to be the best time to focus on this. And he can take that action and see what the results are. We have 2 different workshops that we're going to offer, complimentary to anyone. One will be on the 27th of December. Yes, that's right. Between if you celebrate Christmas and New Year's. And yet we also know that's a time that people are looking for it. So it's Monday, the 27th at noon Eastern time. Or if that week is crazy for you, we're going to get you started on the right foot in 2020 on Tuesday, January 4th at 7 p.m. So there are 2 opportunities for you to take advantage of this worksheet that is going to help you be really clear on the things that you truly desire, that you stand around saying, I wish this was the case. Or I wish that at the end of the year, this is what my business would look like, or my team, or the new job that I want to have, or the new role that I'm going to play, how I'm going to have my team work. Then this will help you get clarity on that and figure out the process by which you can attack that at the start of the year. So we hope that you will join there. Bob has put up in the comments a link where you can sign up to it. Again, there is no cost for this. It will last a little over an hour, probably 60 to 75 minutes. And it will be an interactive online discussion. So you can join from the comforts of your home. your couch, wherever you choose to be
Your
hanging
car,
out.
your office, we've had it all.
Correct. So
And
please feel free to go to that link.
can I add one thing, Tom?
Of course.
You and I don't do workshops where it's just we talk at you for 70 minutes. When we say interactive, we mean you're going to be thinking through things and really getting in the playground. This is not like we're going to show you how to play basketball and you watch Tom and me shoot hoops. This is you're going to learn how to dribble. You're going to learn how to take the shots, and you're going to walk away with a deep understanding of this process. And it's something that you can repeat.
You will need pen and paper. There's no doubt.
But it's not one of those, they're going to talk at me and I can check my email for that time. This is a focused, I'm going to commit. When we talk about the value of the hour, that hour could be very valuable in the sense of how you look at how you plan things and how you execute things in the new year.
Absolutely. And I had something I was going to say, and I completely lost it. So, I know what I was going to say is that space is limited because we really want to make sure that each individual gets what they need out of this so that they are prepared to head into 2020. So check out that link and you can get more information and sign up. And then you will be prepared to stop saying, I wish, and start having the success that you desire. So we hope and look forward to you joining us on those 2 dates.
And Tom, what is your discovery of the week? We put it off we move things. I appreciate your indulging us. What do you got?
My discovery of the week is that we get to define the value. And there's a lot of
value of an hour.
The value of an hour. And there's a lot of different definitions, or I'm not sure definitions is the right word.
Factors, right?
Yeah. Or I guess what we value, so in an hour, you could value focused work. You could value a sales presentation. You could value, I need to step away and take a break. And I think so often when we talk value, all we think about is dollars and cents. And so an example, you can come to this workshop and you are not going to generate any revenue for yourself unless some interesting, which could happen, you connect with somebody and you have the solution to the challenge that they're facing. Could happen. And yet, in reality, as you think about how can you make 2020 more effective?
2021.
2022.
Sorry.
Pandemic mind. I keep forgetting. I think it's 2019. No.
We're going back in time.
Back in time. That this could be the most valuable hour that you spend preparing for what is coming ahead. And I think that is something to consider is, as we think about what's real for us, generating revenue is a real thing that we all need to do. Absolutely. Whether that's we have to show up in our office and be paid, or we are a business owner or entrepreneur and we have to go out and generate revenue to allow us to continue to work and do the things we want to do. There is also gaining knowledge, experience, and perspective. And I think all of those things are valuable and could be how you define your hour. That did you gain new experience? Did you have new knowledge? Has this brought a new perspective? And I would also say that there is recovery. Mm-hmm. We work hard. And if you're really focused on a project, and I think what's interesting is you were talking about this, the ebb and flow, I would imagine that defined everybody's work efforts. Is there's an ebb and flow to it, is that sometimes we're really focused and lasered in, and other times we're kind of out there trying to do what we want and not. And then other times where we're just lost. I mean, I think it's a real reason why people at work end up surfing the internet is because they're not burned out, but they have spent a lot of emotional, physical, mental energy. And to do that for 9 hours, really difficult to do, or however long you work. And so to find that time where you recover and step away from it, I think is really valuable. And as you say, you can determine when you are most effective to do it. So that would be my thing, is that as you look at what you determine as a value of an hour, that there are a lot of ways to look at it, and you get to define what that is.
Hey, Tom, I don't know if you participated in it, but yesterday we had in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group a poll about how people were looking at Christmas cards.
I did.
Were they already sent? Were they in the works? No way, Jose, whatever. And the results were really interesting. So if you're someone who's debating whether you need to send out Christmas cards personally or professionally, I would encourage you to join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group or go to the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, because you can get real answers from real people in the real situations that you find yourself in. And I found that really helpful to me in terms of how I need to look at Christmas cards. Because someone said to me the other day, it's like, you didn't send Christmas cards this year. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And they're like, well, maybe you should. And those results really help clarify my point of view. I'm not going to tip my hand, but worth investigating to see what's going on there. So if you haven't joined our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, go there, look up Ring of Renegades on Facebook, go there. You'll be asked a question because it's a private group. We'll ask you why you're a renegade. Next thing you know, you'll be able to see the results.
You hate saying that, don't you? That it's a private group.
It doesn't
bother. You do.
Me.
The way it rolls off your tongue, you're like, I got to say this because he says it all the time. And so I'll say it. Just my observation.
It's fair. It's fair. It's not the most valuable part of my hour.
That's fair too. You get to determine that, correct?
But I will tell you, I did kick someone off this morning because their comments were not in keeping with what we're trying to do.
Interesting.
Yes. So
see that.
I am trying to keep that space safe for people to have an open discussion.
So it is important that it's private.
Yes.
I
walked into that one.
You absolutely, positively walked.
I usually know when I'm walking into a landmine. That one just went right off, and I'm still trying to figure out where it came from.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks so much for being a part of our show this week. We hope that you found value in the time that you spent listening to our discussions and the thoughts that went through your head. If you have something you'd like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments, or, as Bob suggested, come to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group and share it there. There are people who are desperately looking for what you have to share, and providing that might be the one thing. Kind of like what Bob started this off with, is that there are people who are willing to share so that others can benefit. And I think you sharing in the group or others sharing can make a difference in where you're going and change what's real for you. So we hope that we will see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of today's Antidote. Go out and have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you. And since I didn't get to say it yesterday, Tom, really embrace the renegading you.
Okay.
There you go.
Do they need to do anything else? Anything to celebrate? Go say something nice to a salesperson or a share person?
Say something nice to a salesperson in your life. Or if you're a salesperson, go out there and prove your worth today.
You know what else you could do?
What could you do, Tom?
You could buy something from a salesperson.
Oh, yes.
That you weren't necessarily considering, because that would be a nice gesture to say, hey, I really appreciated you sharing this opportunity with me, and I think I'll take advantage of it.
I like that. Very nice.
It'll make sales a whole lot easier for that person. They'll be like, wow, that was really easy. All I had to do was share this information with them.
And share our group with them, because they probably like that as well.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Have a great day and a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.